Hello, everyone. It's Thursday, October the 6th. We've had 9 additional deaths since the last time we were together on Tuesday. I ask for you to join me in prayer for these great people and everything that we've lost. But the 7,437th death is a 55-year-old male from Boone County. The 7,438th death is a 64-year-old male from Taylor County. The 7,439th death, an 86-year-old male from Logan County. The 7,440th death, an 83-year-old male from Kanawha County. The 7,441st death is an 86-year-old male from Berkeley County. The 7,442nd death is an 87-year-old male from Logan County. The 7,443rd death is a 73-year-old male from Harrison County. The 7,444th death is a 92-year-old female from Marion County. And the 7,445th death is an 87-year-old female from Harrison County. Please keep them in your prayers. Please do. Active cases, 968 in West Virginia, 286 new positive cases. The daily positivity rate is at 5.68, 8.56 on our cumulative rate. A little over 593,000 that are recovered cases. We're down to 190 cases that are hospitalized in people that are hospitalized in West Virginia, 29 in the ICU units and 13 on ventilators. And you can see most of our state is in green, and that's good. I remind you over and over about your Omicron booster. It is really important that you take heed of what we're saying and really consider getting that booster shot. I ask you, over and over about to know that we stand rock solid with your rights and your opinions and everything. And I'm going to stand there, but I'm going to continue to give you, data and encourage you to, in every way, consider vaccination and can absolutely, without any question, if you've been vaccinated, get your booster shot. The numbers continue to get a little bit better. They're slow, but we keep eaching up and every single day we get a little teeny bit better. From a standpoint of the vaccine calculator or the COVID vaccine info line, it's all up on our website. The calculator can really help you. If you'll get on there and get registered, we'll be able to remind you when you get your booster shots. 68 outbreaks in our long-term care facilities, none in our church community. 39 inmates and 22 staff cases. I remind you over and over about the homeowners assistance program. I've done it and done it and done it. If you'll just, call us, we may very well be able to get you registered and be able to really help you there. I remind you about giving blood. It's super, super, super important. I've told you over and over in the last few days and everything about my stance on Amendment 2. I think it can cause us a tremendous amount of problem. I think it really can hurt our counties. And right behind that, if you hurt our counties, you drive businesses that absolutely would have a shot at coming to our counties away. You hurt our senior citizens. You hurt our schools. You hurt lots of stuff when you start hurting our functionability of our counties. The Hatfield-McCoy Trail, tourism is announcing, they're going to give 2 brand new 4-seater UTVs away to encourage riders, to get out and explore the wonderful autumn colors and everything. They're going to do that. People that are qualifying, for this drawing have to have purchased a permit for our Hatfield and McCoy's trails before November the 15th. And then you'll be in a random drawing and everything that'll happen on December the 15th. So I don't know exactly the cost on those, but they're probably, somewhere around 20,000, maybe even higher than that. Last year alone we had 29,500 new riders explore, the expansive trail system that we have. Tourism's done phenomenal work. Consider that and get outside. Get outside and just see how beautiful this state is. It's beyond belief. And enjoy the colors that are getting ready to happen all across our state. Tomorrow is a real big time anniversary, but it is the anniversary of the Roads to Prosperity, passage and everything. But with all that being said, West Virginians were asked to cast their vote on whether to approve, $1.6 billion in state bonds to build and upgrade our roads and bridges. Many people thought that October the 7th, 5 years ago, that really and truly what this would lead to is more and more and more taxation to be able to complete and build the roads and everything. And I told them it wouldn't lead to that at all. And it has not led to that one dime's worth. All it's led to is jobs and jobs and jobs in West Virginia. Roads being fixed all over the place. Surpluses created. This was the springboard right here to start everything down the path. And when I introduced this, there was a lot of skepticism. I traveled all across the state and everything and pitched exactly what I said would happen, and it happened exactly that way. I'm doing the same thing right now with Amendment 2, but this exact same thing happened 5 years ago today. When you voted to pass this overwhelmingly by almost 73% of the vote. You listened to what I was trying to tell you, and what happened? It came true, didn't it? There's orange cones everywhere. Roads are fixed all across this state, and we continue to be able to do that because we have more and more and more dollars now to pour in because of surpluses that have occurred. Jobs have happened. People have moved into West Virginia for the first time in who knows when. It worked. It worked. So absolutely, it is a day of celebration like nobody's business. Whether it be the widening project in Beckley or all the improvement, all the stuff that's going on in Coalfield Expressways or the interstate bridges in the Wheeling area on I-70 or Corridor H and all the great stuff there, or the Nitro Bridge or whatever it may be, it's working. But the biggest thing that's working more than anything is you're able to get in your car and drive to the convenience store without tearing your car all to pieces. Absolutely, the great people of our Department of Highways and Transportation have done unbelievable work, and we're continuing to do it. We're not going to stop till we get every single road. We were behind a great big 8 ball. For decades, we had neglected our roads. We had. And for decades, we had sold a lot of our maintenance equipment, and we couldn't take care of our roads. And we did that to generate money to just be able to feed us and let us get by. We were in big trouble. But absolutely, we're on our way. It's a great, great, great anniversary tomorrow. And I think Mark Curtis is not going to be able to be with us today, but he had a question.
He's on, Governor, he's on.
Okay, all right, well then I'll let him ask his question in a minute. Okay, so I'm done.
All right, thanks. I guess we'll go straight to Mark Curtis with Nexstar Media.
Thank you, Governor. I'm waiting an interview with the Attorney General here. So listen, I want your reaction. Yesterday, OPEC said it would cut oil production by 2 million gallons or 2 million barrels a day, 2 million barrels a day. And most economists I'm talking to say that's going to spike prices at the gas pump once again. Given that possibility, are you willing to reconsider perhaps having a gas tax holiday in this state, especially as we get into the holiday season, to help out consumers if gas prices spike again?
Mark, that fell on a tremendous deaf ear in our legislature. And Mark, from my standpoint, I couldn't say it more point blank. I stand with the people. I stand with the people that have made this great state what we are. And literally, I always do that. And I think that our legislature, especially from our House side, right, at least they're hearing the voices. They're hearing the voices of the people. I just got through with a meeting with Brandon Steele. A great meeting. He's a great young man and everything. And I had the opportunity to coach Brandon a long time ago in Little League, with my son Jay. But all that being said, one thing that really resonates with me is Brandon says, the House folks absolutely have got to hear. They have got to hear what's going on in their communities. That's the way it's set up. Today, we have a lot of deaf ears going on, from the Senate side about Toby and Edith out here. I mean, Mark, you know it and I know it too. Gasoline prices, who knows where they could go? What did we do? We drained, our strategic supplies of oil and everything to drive gas prices down until we could get through the election. Now we've got the Saudis doing what they're doing here and everything, and literally at the end of the day, whether it be all of OPEC, lowering their output by 2 million barrels a day, what's that done for? It's to prop up the oil price all across the globe. Now, sure, it'll hurt. And the odds are it's going to spike prices. And without any question, sure, I think we need to be energy independent in this country, and no reason on the planet why we're not doing that except the Biden administration. Absolutely, all of this inflation is driven from energy. Energy absolutely controls so much. Civilization only advances with abundant, cheap energy, and the caveat of abundant, cheap energy with clean energy. There'll be a day, and we should embrace all the alternatives today, there'll be a day when really maybe fossil fuels will fade away, but it is not today. It's not today. And absolutely we need to embrace and be thankful for all that fossil fuels have brought us. And we need to work on technology all the time to make them cleaner. But absolutely with all in me, from the standpoint of those that are hurting, Mark, and I'm not dancing all around your question, but really and true, the last time I said that I'd be in favor of a gas holiday or whatever it may be, it just got blown out of the air like it was nothing. There are better ways, and really and truly, to me, it's just it's not going to remedy anything. That's all there is to it, but it would be something that maybe could help a little bit. And that's why, gosh, Mark, I mean, just think how much sense this makes. I don't know how I could tee it up any better. How could you tee it up any better for Republicans? How in the world could you tee up anything any better than to say, let's give our people a 10% tax cut tomorrow? And we just snubbed our nose at it. The House didn't, but the Senate did. Republicans, believe it or not. We could have put money right back in the pockets of West Virginians right then. And we didn't do it. I don't know how to answer any plainer than that.
All right, thanks, Mark. Next to John Shaver with WV News.
Good morning, everybody. For the past few weeks since the bivalent vaccine's been available, we've been encouraging people to take it, and it seems like they have, at least in my area. But I think that we also need to be able to remind people that there are other tools in the toolbox, especially as we enter the colder months with social distancing, indoor congregating more. So can you speak on that, please? Thank you.
Dr. Armstrong, I cannot hear it very well. Maybe you could answer this, or Bill.
Okay. Yes, Governor. John, you're absolutely right. So besides the Omicron booster, which can help reduce hospitalizations and even deaths, there are other tools we have in the toolbox, as you mentioned. We do encourage anyone who has not gotten their flu vaccine to get their flu vaccine as well, to continue to wash their hands with soap and water, hand gel, wear a mask when appropriate if they're able to, and also to take Paxlovid or any of the antivirals that are recommended for anyone who's high risk. So there's a lot of things someone can do if they are suspecting they have COVID or they have COVID, so that we have a decent season this upcoming winter. But those are the things that people have been doing since last year. We recommend to continue doing all of those together. Thanks.
All right, thanks, John. Next to Brad McElhenney with West Virginia Metro News.
Hi, Governor. Thanks, everybody. Governor, I've heard you say some things about the car tax during your travels around the state. I think maybe I need some clarity. Are you suggesting somehow eliminating the tax without a constitutional amendment? Or are you talking more along the lines of some sort of rebate for what people pay for the car taxes? But then is it possible that people in turn would be taxed on the rebate? Thank you.
Well, Brad, from the standpoint of the tail end of your question, is it possible that people would be taxed on the rebate? I think I think we need, the percentage of tax on the rebate would be, we're really majoring in minors now. But I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. But right now, Brad, here's what I'm trying to come up with a methodology or a way maybe to think about. And it's just a thought right now. And we may move forward on this and we may find that you can't do that. From a standpoint of just arbitrarily saying, well, let's just get rid of the car tax, we can't really do that by just we need, we do need a vote, I guess, to be able to remedy that. But from the standpoint of a methodology to be able to get rid of the car tax without eliminating that tax, there is a way to do that. And the way to do that, may very well involve basically a rebate, right, that would compensate for that. There's a way to do it. I'm not sure exactly right now yet how to do it, but our revenue people are working on a methodology and a way to do it. Am I for getting rid of the car tax? Absolutely. Do I believe in Amendment 2 that the only reason in the world the car tax is there is to buy your vote and really and truly camouflage away really what we're really trying to do, which is the 800-pound gorilla in the room? We're trying to get rid of the machinery and inventory tax that will drive a stake in the possibilities of eliminating your personal income tax. And in that pie-shaped scenario, the benefit overwhelmingly goes to great big corporations, and it leaves our hardworking people standing there holding the bag. Now, in my scenario, every single dime of tax cut goes to the people. In the Senate scenario, about 30% of the tax cut really goes to the people, and the rest of it really and truly goes to big companies. And like it or not like it, but I would be a tremendous beneficiary of the Senate's plan, and I'm telling you, don't do it. Because I came here to do the right reason. I came here to serve the people, and that's what I'm going to do. So anyway, we're working on a plan to be able to get rid of their car tax. We're not there yet, but we're working on it.
All right, thanks, Brad. Next, we'll go to Stephen Allen Adams with Ogden Newspapers.
Yeah, Stephen Adams of Ogden Newspapers here. Another Amendment 2 question. Obviously, you've come out pretty hard and heavy against Amendment 2. But I wonder, what's the scenario if it passes? Obviously, the worst case scenario, I think in your mind, would be the Senate Republican plan that would eliminate tangible personal property taxes. But in talking with some members of the House and hearing public responses from House Republican members, I've seen a lot of support for Amendment 2, but I haven't really seen too much in the way of specific support necessarily for the Senate's plan or their draft bill, which is, out there publicly. Do you think even if Amendment 2 passes, and certainly you said you're open to negotiation, do you see an opportunity where perhaps maybe something might not happen with tangible personal property taxes, or maybe some way for you and your state officials in the governor's office to influence the type of tax cuts or eliminations, but going forward, if Amendment 2 does become a thing. Thank you.
Okay, Stephen, here's my whole thought. Today, you know, Senate leadership is so wedded to their plan today that they've not been willing to negotiate anything, nothing, you know. And you know, Chairman Householder, myself, we've tried all kinds of different variations. We haven't gotten to first base. Now, they may be willing to do something tonight, but up until today, nothing. Now, and why? Because they got to have all the money. They got to have all the money to do what they want to do. They can't do anything else but really do what they're wanting to do. And what they're wanting to do, to me, is nothing but the swamp. It is interest groups, lobbyists that are propping up campaign funds and everything else under the sun in order to get their wishes. Well, I don't believe in that, and I never have. But Stephen, you know, from the standpoint of the House side, there is a really, really good chance that the Senate's variation would be just thrown out. But if that be the case and we get that level of food fighting that goes on and on and on, back and forth, what in the world are we doing to Toby and Edith today that are hurting because gas prices are what they are and they may go a whole lot higher? Food prices are what they are in the grocery stores. Why in the world don't we move today? Why don't we do something today? And what we can do today is cut the income tax. We can do that today, you know, but as far as really and truly what variation will come out of this, in my opinion, what should be done, and that's why I started down the pathway in the beginning, let's absolutely work together to try to come up with something. Well, we didn't get to first base, you know, and then to say, well, we're not, the governor's not willing to debate us now. I mean, Stephen, let's again be fair. For crying out loud, for a year, Senate leadership's been traveling around to county commissioners, you know, school superintendents, this, that, and everything else. And I was never even asked, what's your opinion? Or do you want to go with us? Nothing. You know, and we've tried to slip this through under the cover of darkness, basically, and what we're doing is we are running a risk of really hurting our counties. And when you hurt the counties, what are you really doing? You're hurting our senior citizens. Services will be hurt if we hurt the counties. We're hurting our schools. There's no question we're hurting jobs, because who in the world wants to come in a business to an upside-down county? Now, like it or not like it, what should be done is the pause button here. We should pause. We should absolutely throw Amendment 2 out, and then if we want to work on another level of amendment going forward that gives us the ability to be able to change the deck chairs around and whatever in the legislature and everything, which would make common sense to everybody, then do it. Then that's great. You know, and I would be a real participant in that. But Stephen, I am telling you, the way we're going, a lot of people stand a real live risk of being hurt. A lot of people. And so I can't be more animated about it from the standpoint, I don't know how in the world anybody could look at Jim Justice and say, well, Jim Justice, would your family benefit from getting rid of the machinery and inventory tax today? Well, you're dadgum right, by the tune of millions, and I'm saying, don't do it. Now, it takes a big guy to say, don't do it, when really and truly his family would be benefiting by the tune of millions and millions and millions. Now, but on top of all that, Stephen, I honestly believe, first and foremost, that what we should be trying to craft is a way to help Toby and Edith today. Toby and Edith are the hardworking people that get their dinner bucket every day and go to work. Absolutely. They're the ones paying for the $5 gas. They're the ones that have helped pull us through this pandemic together. They're the ones that are absolutely going to the grocery store and seeing the prices that they're seeing and facing all kinds of potential trouble. And the other flip side of it is, please tell me, pray tell, please, somebody tell me, why are we doing this? We have every business in the land almost wanting to come here right now. We're absolutely, covered up with requests, and we want it even more, I grant you. But how do we know that doing this will really help that more? But we do know that how do we know that getting rid of the inventory and the machinery tax will really drive more business here? But we do know the mechanisms that we have today, the surpluses, the crafting of plans and everything to bring the businesses here is working. Why do we want to throw that in the trash can? Why in the world do we want to throw that in the trash can? And we do know unequivocally, if we could get on a pathway in West Virginia to reduce our personal income tax, it would help our citizens off the chart. And every single place that that's happened, growth has come like crazy. I don't get it. But nevertheless, thanks for the question.
All right, thanks, Stephen. Governor, I'll turn it back to you.
I'm going to end on that. That's all I've got. I appreciate everybody and I appreciate the questions, and I'll see you real soon. Thank you.